Hello world, welcome to Pass Interference. My name is Shira Duncan. We are talking about week 5 in the NFL football season. A lot going on this week, a lot to report, so I guess let me go ahead and begin. What's up world? My name is Shira Duncan and I'm here to introduce to you my show, Pass Interference. It's an NFL talk show with a little bit of twist, and ladies, I'm doing this for us. Every week I'm going to talk about the world of football, the highs, the lows, the ins and outs, as well as a little treat for you, the fantasy football husband of the week. We're going to see the man behind the number. And every week, I'm going to teach you a lesson in football, from penalties, offsides, safety, you name it. So check me out every Wednesday. A lot to report, so I guess there's nothing else better to do but go ahead and get it started. So this week is the beginning of the byes. 4 teams had a bye this week: Atlanta Falcons, Denver Broncos, Washington Redskins, and the New Orleans Saints. They had a week to rest up, heal up, whatever you want to call it, get things together, and come back next week and make it happen. So, not going to talk about those teams this week, but we have a whole lot to talk about. So let's go ahead and get into it, all right? Thursday's game, New England Patriots at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Score was 19-14. This game was a defensive game, if any. Brady got sacked 3 times. They was lining him up 3 times, 1 fumble, okay? Now, he had 303 yards, which, I mean, it's Tom Brady. No matter how many times you knock him down, he's going to get up, because that's just what he does. And Winston had 334 yards. Now, the reason why Tampa Bay did not win this game, in my opinion, and I'm sure in everyone's opinion, is they missed 3 field goals, okay? The score was 19-14. Imagine if they had, 3, 6, 9 points they missed. Nick Folk, hope you're looking for a job, Playboy, because Tampa Bay, you need to go ahead and find a new kicker. That is unacceptable. It really cost you the game, honestly. If they would have made the field goals, they would have won the game. So that kind of sucks. But again, like I said, and I've been saying, Tampa Bay is a team to look out for. All right, now getting into the Sunday's games, I'm going to start out with the New York Jets against the Cleveland Browns. Score there was 17-14. Now, Kaiser was the starting quarterback for the Browns, but after the Sunday's performance, they had to make a change. They went ahead and benched him at halftime, trying to see what they can do. Hogan finished with 194 yards. I think that might be the next move. Kaiser's not doing anything for you, Browns. I'm rooting for you. If nobody else is rooting for you, I am. I'm rooting for you. I want to see a change. I want to see something different. And Hogan just might be that difference. So let's go ahead and try. I mean, it wasn't embarrassing, 17-14. I mean, that's a way to recover, but Browns, I'm rooting for you. Go Browns. All right, moving on to Carolina Panthers at Detroit Lions. Fantastic game. Carolina Panthers definitely pulled that one out. I mean, Cam is definitely back on. He definitely is showing himself on the field. He looks good. He's definitely hitting his targets. He's getting the ball way down the field. It's amazing. He completed 26 out of 33 attempts, 355 yards, 3 touchdowns, while Stanford had 229 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now, the Lions could have won this game, honestly, but in the 4th quarter, they just couldn't do it. Couldn't make a finish. Carolina, I see you. It was a very close game, 27-24. You had a substantial lead in the first half and then kind of fizzled out. Again, like my sparkler reference, it's just bright and shiny and then you go out. So Carolina needs to be able to finish all the way, keep that lead, keep that intensity, but we'll see whatever they can do, okay? San Francisco 49ers at the Indianapolis Colts, 23-26. Now the Colts pulled this out in overtime, okay? 4th quarter, the score was 9-23. 49ers scored 17 points in the 4th quarter. I mean, they fought till the end. But an interception, I always talk about, there's certain little things that happen that could just change the game. And the Colts defense went after it. They got an interception from Hoyer, which gave them back the possession of the ball, and they won in overtime with the field goal. Okay, so Hoyer had 353 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Brissett had 314 yards. So not a bad game. It was very, very interesting. Tennessee Titans at Miami Dolphins, okay? Dolphins pulling it out, 10-16. Cutler had 1 touchdown with 92 yards. I mean, I'm not surprised, I'm not impressed. I mean, it's Cutler, Jay Cutler. We know what we're talking about. Cassell had 141 yards with 1 touchdown. So Miami's they're gonna truck along. I don't definitely think that they're gonna have a super uber sucking season, but we'll see. We're still talking about Miami Dolphins and we're still talking about Jay Cutler, so one can only tell, right? Buffalo Bills against the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, Buffalo Bills defense has been so stellar up until this week. I mean, Cincinnati came out with fire. It was so crazy. Dalton had 328 yards. He was intercepted 2 times. And as well as AJ Green had 189 yards with 1 touchdown. Now the score was 16-20, so as you can tell, this was a fight to the finish, fight to the end. They still do have a great defense, but Cincinnati just had more to give. They just kept pushing through and they got the win. So I'm not counting out the Buffalo Bills. Like I said, their defense is great. And Tyrod, I'm a big fan of you, so keep doing what you're doing. LA Chargers at New York Giants, score was 27-22. Not a good start for LA. They started out with a safety. Now that is so crazy that this week there was a lot of safeties, actually 2 safeties, and that's my lesson. So we'll talk about that later on. But again, horrible start for the Chargers. That's an easy 2 points, okay? Manning loses the ball in the 4th quarter. Again, 4th quarter is the biggest quarter. If you're going to be able to pull anything out, or if you lose steam in the 4th quarter, you lose the game. You got to go till it's 0.00. It just makes sense. It's kind of how it is. Now, a big loss for New York Giants is Odell Beckham Jr. fractured ankle. He was carted off. He was crying like he was crying like it hurt. And I can only imagine fracturing your ankle. It's gotta hurt, because I've never done it, but I can only imagine. He's had ankle problems actually really all season. He got hurt preseason with his ankle, so kind of sucks. I'm really sad to hear that. Rivers had 258 yards, 3 touchdowns. Manning had 225 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now the Giants are 0-5. They have not won a game yet. It's crazy. I guess I would never think of the New York Giants to be 0-5 week 5, at least have a game won or whatever, but I don't know what's going on. There is definitely a disconnect with the coaching, with the players. I don't know if the energy, I don't know, but it's evident, it's obvious. You can tell on the field, like, y'all need to get it together, because y'all ain't gonna be doing nothing. Talking about these Browns, y'all gonna be right there with them. All right, Jacksonville Jaguars at Pittsburgh Steelers, 30-9. 30-9, that is crazy for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They did not score 1 touchdown the entire game, okay? Big Ben, 33 completions out of 55 attempts, okay? 5 interceptions. 2, 3, 4, 5 interceptions. Jacksonville's defense is the bomb.com, okay? Get this. Jacksonville is number 1, believe this, number 1 in the NFL for the most points scored due to turnovers. Crazy. 5 interceptions. If you're going to intercept the ball, you need to put some points on the board, and that's exactly what they did. Again, 30-9. Like, it was such a great game. I do feel bad for you Steeler fans in a sense. I mean, it happens to everybody. Trust me, you know, I'm a Raiders fan, and we had a greatness a long time ago, and we fizzled out. We're coming back, but it just may not be your time. It may be time to rethink, rebuild, and get some young blood on there, because y'all are looking kind of old. I don't want to say it, but you're looking kind of old. Moving on, okay? We got the Cardinals at Eagles, 34-7. No defense. That's how I feel with the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, the defense was lackluster. Carson Wentz was just throwing all over the field, bombs everywhere you look. Has so many weapons, so much going on. I mean, if you don't get in his face and you don't apply the pressure to him, he's going to make something happen. And I think this was a very good sign of this young quarterback pulling it out, okay? He was 21 for 30, 304 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's awesome. I mean, the Cardinals do have Carson Palmer. Carson Palmer is a vet in the NFL. When he's on, he's on. And when he's off, he's off. And there's no in between. So honestly, all I can say is he's off. Somebody better turn the lights on, because it's getting dark in here, okay? Seattle Seahawks at LA Rams, 16-10. Now, this was definitely a game. It went all the way down to the end. Seattle has struggled in the last 2 matchups with the LA Rams. I don't know, maybe some intensity in the conference. Who knows? I mean, there's always those teams that you always fight for. Now, Jared Goff is trying to do his thing. Him and his receivers and his backs are all connecting. They have great chemistry. However, he's still a young quarterback. He's in his sophomore year. He had 2 interceptions. Great defense for Seattle. They pulled it out, and that's honestly what I feel won the game. Even though Russell Wilson did what he did, he made plays, he made things happen, but he had a few interceptions as well, so you know how that can be, okay? Okay, Baltimore Ravens at Oakland Raiders, 30-17. As you can see for the last 3 games, Oakland Raiders are kind of hurting, definitely seeing a weakness in the offensive line. The quarterback is not being protected. Now, Manuel was sacked 3 times. 3 times. I mean, every game I seem to watch with the Raiders, their quarterback is getting sacked multiple times, not protecting him. There is definitely a weak point. That is something that the coaching staff needs to definitely figure out the problem, as well as the secondary and the bombs in the middle of the field. But Lynch, though, beast mode. Marshawn Lynch, he's not very beast mode. He's like more puppy mode, and I've been saying this. He had 12 carries, 43 yards, 1 touchdown, though. I think more than anything, all of the teams are realizing like they've got to stop him, or that's the biggest threat for the Oakland Raiders, and they've been doing a pretty good job at that. But he's going to score. He's going to find a way to score, and that's what he did. He got a touchdown. 43 yards, though, 12 carries. They got some things to do. It's still early in the season, though. This team can definitely pull things out in the postseason and kind of go a little further, but we'll see. They got some points they got to work on. I think they got some mental hang-ups they got to get together. So we'll just continue to keep watching. And yeah, that's my team. Let that be known. And I'm hurt. But it's okay, though. We're going to keep moving on. Green Bay Packers at Dallas Cowboys, 35-31. Green Bay pulled it out. I mean, this is definitely an example of a veteran team and a young team. However, Dallas's defense was off the chain. So much intensity. Sacked Aaron Rodgers 3 times. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't do anything to him. You can't get into this man's mind, and I think that's what makes him such an awesome quarterback, a great leader. No matter what the score is, he'll figure out a way, and he figured out a way. That's what he does. He took the game in his own hands and won it. Crazy, okay? Prescott had 251 yards, though, 3 touchdowns. I still love you, Prescott. I think you're awesome. I think you're going to have a great career in the NFL. You got to take the wins with the losses, and it's okay. Better luck next time. Kansas City Chiefs at Houston Texans, 42-34. Okay, Kansas City Chiefs look phenomenal. They are still undefeated. They haven't lost the game yet. Now, big loss for the Houston Texans. They lost their all-time pro J.J. Watt, defensive end. He's out for the season. Definitely hurts their defense. But they still did a stellar job in holding the Chiefs. But Alex Smith, it's his year. He's hungry. He wants it. You can tell. He's fighting for it. He's trying to go all the way. The Chiefs are trying to do something this year. I mean, they're the only team. They're the team to beat right now. I think going in every week moving forward, that should be the goal for every team, is to beat the Chiefs, because right now no one can, and they're just looking unbelievable. Alex Smith had 325 yards and 3 touchdowns. Deshaun Watson, 261 yards, 5 touchdowns, okay? Deshaun, I believe in you. I believe in you. I feel like you are the franchise quarterback that the Texans need. All they got to do is continue to keep building this team around you, but you got some great weapons. Put things together, get the defense in order. You guys can go far. So I'm rooting for you. Monday Night Football was Minnesota Vikings at Chicago Bears, 2017. Now, the Chicago came out strong, their defense, getting a safety early on in the game. And the offense for the Minnesota Vikings looked a little shaky because Bradford definitely looked like he had problems with his knee. Looked like he was trying to protect his knee against tackles. But the coaching staff definitely got wind of it, and they put Casey Keenum in, which was the right decision. He put points on the board, got the ball up the field. Vikings end up winning it with a field goal at the end of the game. Big T, that's what I'm going to call you. Quarterback out of Chicago threw an interception in the 4th quarter. Completely took things the other direction. All right, this week in Stop the Cleats, I have 2 things I want to discuss. Number 1 is Cam Newton and his comments to the female reporter about finding it funny, her talking to him about routes, and then coming back and apologizing. Now, even though there's also the reports of this reporter making racist tweets and things of that nature, which sucks, which that's a whole nother story in itself. I do feel like Cam Newton is definitely giving us an example of his true character. I don't give a damn if he has put out a video or a statement apologizing. I think who he really is a chauvinistic pig, and he showed it to the world. That's just my opinion. Second part of this is the protest for the national anthem. I'm sick and tired of hearing about this. I'm sick and tired of this being way bigger than it is. Part of the national anthem, or at the very end of the national anthem, is the home of the free. But how free are we? Nobody is disrespecting the flag just because they don't want to stand. Now, if you stand and you don't have your hand over your heart, is that disrespect? Or is there a stipulation to everything? And Jerry Jones coming out and putting into his policy, if you kneel for the national anthem, you have to sit for the game. This is all I have to say, and I say this. With any job that you have in the world, no matter what it is, to professional athletes, to sportscasters, reporters, to the fry cook at McDonald's, when you are on the company clock, you have no opinion. What you want to do does not matter. Therefore, you have to make a decision if this is really what you want to do, if this is really the stance you want to make, and you have to take all the heat for it. Because, however, when you are on their clock, you're on company time. Therefore, your opinion means nothing. That's just my message this week on Stop the Cleats. Now it's time for my favorite segment of the week, Fantasy Football Husband of the Week, where we look at the sexy men's without the pads and the helmet. Now, this week is Danny Amendola. He's number 80 on the New England Patriots. Now, he has definitely been stepping up because another big-time receiver, Julian Edelman, is hurt. So we've been seeing a lot of him, but he is check him out, ladies. He's a Scorpio, and we all know Scorpios are hot like fire. And as you can see in these photos, he's just as sexy. So let's give it up for the Fantasy Football Husband of the Week, Danny Amendola. Now it's time for our lesson of the week. Now this week's lesson is safety. We had 2 examples of that in week 5, so this is the definition, okay? It is when the offensive ball carrier is tackled behind his or her goal line. Now, I'll break it down for you a little bit. Sometimes, depending on penalties and depending on the kickoff or where the ball lands, the ball can sometimes land on the 1-yard line of the offensive team, which means the quarterback's pocket, or where the quarterback's going to stand, is inside their own goal line. So it's very important for them to get the ball out or not get sacked, because if they do, that is a safety and the other team gets 2 points. Boom. All right, y'all, that'll do it for week 5 of Pass Interference. Thank you for tuning in, and remember to subscribe to my channel and come check me out every Wednesday. But this game was the battle of the grown pup to the baby pup. Hold up. I had that right in my mind, but it didn't come out right.
Baby pup, hold up.
Hold up, baby pup. Hold up. Hold up, baby pup. Okay. Getting that touchdown. Coffee break.
Skin that touchdown.
Skin it. Okay. Things end up pulling out with the field goal. Field goal.
I noticed that.
That was good.
Yeah.
All right. Damn it. Gold.
Field goal.
Gold. I love gold.